morning and welcome to the InnoStars Awards final pitch competition. Welcome everybody following us online and also welcome everybody who are here with us physically. Let's get started. First of all, I would like to ask Tamás Békási, RIS Business Creation Manager, to shortly summarize the InnoStars Awards program and the highlights of this year's edition. Tamás, the stage is yours.
Welcome everyone. This is InnoStars Awards Grand Final 2023 from the prestigious Milano Innovation District. Welcome everyone. What a year. So 2023 wasn't one of the most easiest and without difficulties years. Especially within these years, we are constantly looking for timeless values like relentless drive for knowledge which can help us to understand each other's and also to improve or save other people's lives. EIT Health, and specifically within the region of Central, Eastern and Southern Europe, EIT Health InnoStars continues to support its startups and innovators in 2023 who were actually seeking solutions for medical challenges affecting the whole society. I'm really proud today to show you the best startups of the best. And especially as a starting point, actually, the early stage startups who were part of InnoStars Awards 2023. This program was developed 7 years ago and became one of the signature in our acceleration portfolio. And of course, like any big achievements, this couldn't be held without a proper team. So I would like to use this opportunity to thank to my colleagues who made this program happen in 2023. First of all, special thanks to Angela Gustos. Big applause for her, please. And I would like to also thank to my colleagues Monika Tóth, Zsófia Simon, Mejlin Idrissi, Joanna Puskár, Gergely Szabó, and Balázs Füriyes to make this whole program happen. Again, 7 years. It's a great achievement, I believe. And we are continuously proceeding, of course, with this program. It's important to mention here that, the first program, the first pitching competition, will be about InnoStars Awards. But please stay tuned because we will continue with Attract to Invest in the later stage. I would like to also ask you to be part of the vote because, as you know, we have a community award. So please feel free to vote for the best startups within the whole lineup you have been shown to yesterday and today. And I would like to also encourage you to approach the startups within the cafeteria because they will be around and, of course, they will be happy to answer for your questions. If you have special opportunities for them, of course, they will be really, really glad to hear that. So we will be really, really waiting for the results. So wishing you a great day and, of course, an exciting competition for the startups who will pitch in the upcoming hours. I'm really, really encourage you to get the best out of you and, of course, show everything you have. So have a nice day and, of course, a really exciting competition again. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. Let's talk about the rules. We will have 10 finalists in the following categories: biotech, digital health, digital tech, and medtech. Everyone on stage will get 3 minutes, not more than 3 minutes. It's very important. If for some reason you go over 3 minutes, I will very kindly ask you to stop your pitch. If that happens, don't be offended. We just do that so that everybody has equal opportunities. The safest thing, of course, is not to reach the 3 minutes. Then there will be a 3-minute Q&A from the judges who will be sitting here in the first row. You will be able to see them here. Dear judges, 3 minutes is very short, so it may happen that we don't have time for all of your questions. It is what it is. I hope we can conclude that, and that's okay with everybody. And who are the judges, you might wonder? We have Olivia Blanchard, Managing Director, Health Venture Lab. We have Barbara Verő, co-founder and CEO of Future Proof Consulting. And we have Maurizio Ferrari, Chief Medical Officer, Synlab Italia. Thank you very much for being here with us. And as Tomasz already mentioned, you will also be able to vote on your app, or if you follow online through the website. Keep in mind, you can only vote on one startup. So once you voted, it's done. Voting is open till 6 p.m. One more very important thing for people coming on the stage. There's an edge here indicated by this visible tape. Take care and don't fall. And with that, you know everything you need to know. Let's get started. First on stage will be Anacalypsis Therapeutics, represented by Hardy Rideout from Greece, Biotech. The stage is yours, the mic is there, and the clicker is there. Please put it back there once you're done. And welcome to the stage.
Okay, you can hear me okay? Okay, good morning. My name is Hardy. My job in the next 3 minutes is to tell you a little bit about our approach to tackling head-on the challenges faced by people suffering from Parkinson's disease. So the tragic reality is that even after 200 years since this disease was first described, there are still no approved therapeutics that can block the progression of the disease. We have tools to fight the symptoms, but not the progression of the disease. And this is made worse by the fact that by the time a diagnosis is made, there's already significant and irreversible brain damage. So it's a tremendous problem affecting more than 10 million people globally, and it turns out on top of all of that, we've been underestimating the frequency of new patients being identified. It exacts a tremendous socioeconomic cost on society, more than 50 billion in the US alone annually, 15 billion likely now in Europe, and it's a tremendous challenge. And in my mind, all of this has to change. So the challenge, in fact, is that there are two problems that we need to solve. First, that we need a panel of precise targeted therapeutics that affect the pathways that lead to the loss of these neurons. And we also need sensitive tools to monitor the progression of the disease, to monitor the effectiveness of our therapies, and to help streamline the patient selection to match them with the appropriate treatments. And this is what our efforts is. We're developing both therapeutic approaches, novel therapeutics, as well as a panel of sensitive biomarker tools, all targeting a protein linked to Parkinson's disease called LRRK2, LRRK2. So this has been genetically and functionally linked to Parkinson's disease for 20 years now. It's involved in a wide variety of functions related to Parkinson's disease, but also in our general health. It is a protein that has attracted tremendous resources and efforts in the industry to target this protein in Parkinson's disease. But the problem is all of these industry efforts share the same therapeutic goal, which is just to non-selectively block the activity of this protein. And we think that that's a weakness. So our solution addresses this on multiple levels. First, we are developing 3 distinct therapeutic pipelines targeting the LRRK2 protein. All of them specifically target a selective pathway that leads to the death of neurons. And on top of that, we're developing a panel of sensitive biomarker tools, biomarkers to measure the function of this protein in blood, imaging tools to measure how it's functioning in the brain. All of these efforts as part of our global approach to target this protein. So we are asking for a 5 million euro seed investment to advance all of these therapeutics through the preclinical development. That's 3 minutes? Okay, thank you.
And that's time for the questions.
Okay. Hi. I would like to ask you to tell us about your team and the capabilities that you have.
So myself and my co-founder, we started this company in Athens a couple of years ago. We have complementary skill sets that both on the molecular side as well as the pharmacological side. We have a very strong support network in terms of people in both from the biotech and pharmaceutical industry, as well as the finance industry, and as well as our scientific advisors in clinical neurology and in basic science. It's something that we're developing as well, though.
Could you tell us some more information regarding the biomarkers, how sensitive and specific are they?
So the biomarker tools that we're developing, one is a candidate PET tracer, which is a first of its kind in this field. It labels the accumulation of a specific portion of this protein LRRK2 that we have identified as the toxic species. So it's the first tool of this kind. And we're developing a biofluid multiplex biomarker panel, which measures up to 18 different protein markers in blood or urine or saliva to establish kind of a signature of signaling based around this protein LRRK2 and its pathway.
Okay, then maybe another question. Thanks for the presentation. So what do you think, why this problem has not been solved before, and why are you the one who can do that? And maybe another short one, who is the boss in the team?
So I'm the boss in terms of the scientific progress of the company. We have my partner Alexia, as our CEO, is handling all of the management of the company so far. Why this hasn't been solved yet? It's a very complicated problem because we know exactly where the cells in the brain that are vulnerable, that are dying, and we've known that for a long time. But the problem is that this can happen from a variety of different ways. So, if a group of neurons in the brain have decided that they want to die, they have a pretty good way to make that happen, and it's a big challenge to overcome.
And why are you the team who can solve it?
Right. So we've identified several different pathways that this particular protein can activate in neurons that lead to the death of the neuron. Plus, we've identified multiple intervention points along those pathways to disrupt this, and this is something that is new in the field.
So it's a system solution, you mean?
Yes.
Any other questions? No? Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next on stage, Beat Therapeutics, represented by Angela Carvalho, CEO, Portugal Biotech. Welcome to the stage.
Treating cancer is like a fight. Cancer patients step into a ring fighting for a cure. And round after round, they push through, and many times they triumph with a successful treatment. But the reality for many other patients is that, despite all their will, they are left on the ring hearing that they have no more options to fight the disease. At Beat Therapeutics, we are on a mission to help these patients knock out cancer. Every year, over 1.7 million people are diagnosed with hard-to-treat cancers, and as the name might tell you, still lack effective treatments, resulting in high mortality rates. Our team, looking for effective treatments, dig out a potent anti-tumor agent. Quite literally, we went to the roots of an African native tree to bring out a first-in-class therapy effective against these aggressive cancers, BBIT20. And BBIT20 is a chemical derivative from this root and a targeted therapy that precisely strikes cancer cells' DNA, causing their death. What other characteristics made us believe in BBIT20? When compared with current available treatments, it showed to be up to 20 times superior in tumor reduction while using up to 10 times lower doses. Also, it is efficient in killing cancer cells that are already resistant to other treatments. But that's not all. When combined with these treatments, it creates a synergistic effect in tumor reduction. It is capable of lowering their doses up to 14 times, and it was capable of reverting the resistance of cancer cells to a chemotherapy, making them, once again, sensible to this treatment. So this will translate into a therapy that could be used alone or in combination and will result in less side effects for patients and much higher clinical benefits. The global market for BBIT, focusing on cancers in advanced stages, can reach 39 billion euros, and our clinical priority to reach the market is pancreatic cancer. Our key milestone is to take this therapy into the first trials in humans, for which we will raise 4.3 million euros. Towards that goal, we are raising a supportive ecosystem of patients associations, cancer hospitals, fundraising, and also an investor already on board. Our team of highly qualified pharmaceutical, clinical, and business experts is dedicated to bringing this therapy to patients. I'm Angela Carvalho, and I invite you to join us on the fight to beat cancer.
Thank you. Time for the questions.
Yes, I have a couple of questions. The first one is that you say that there is utilize a combination of your target plus chemotherapy or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is the interaction of these two approaches? Why they should improve the cancer therapy?
Yeah, so that is based on a principle called synthetic lethality, where two events that wouldn't cause the death of a cell together combined cause their death. And so we have a DNA damaging agent with the targeted therapies and chemotherapy, and then combined with BBIT, which is also a DNA damaging agent, causes the death of the cancer cells.
And how this combination should be specific for a specific cancer, because it seems more general as an approach.
So we tried with two chemotherapies, one specific for pancreatic cancer and one that is used currently in ovarian and triple-negative breast cancer. So we have results with both chemotherapies. And then with a PARP inhibitor, which is a type of targeted therapy used in patients that have a mutation, which is the BRCA1 mutation.
Angela, could you tell us about the burn rate in your company?
The burn rate. So to give a little bit of context, we started as an entrepreneurship project in April of this year, so we were quite young. We launched the company in July, and up to this time, we have raised about 200K in investment, and we are in a burn rate of, I would say, 20% at the time.
And what keeps you awake nowadays? So what is the biggest concern of yours at the moment?
Well, when we are working with therapeutics, we always have this fear of, will it work when we reach clinical trials? It's also it's a big risk. At this time, will we be able to raise the funds enough to conduct a clinical trial? And will we select the right partners, to produce the compound, to perform the clinical trials? Because that is, it's crucial to have a good development of the project.
And how can you minimize the risk?
Well,
Choosing the wrong partner, because I think it's really critical.
Yeah, so what we are doing at this time, for example, for the manufacturing of the compound, is that we are going through several companies, see with whom have they worked before, and selecting the one that we feel it's more fit to produce the compound.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next on stage, Orga Value, Dr. Rodrigo Valdeleiros, Portugal, Biotech. Welcome to the stage.
Thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Rodrigo. I'm here to present Orga Value. Orga Value mission is to eliminate the organ transplant waiting list. And why? Because nowadays at least 90% of worldwide needs for organ transplantation are not being met. So, which means that 40 people die each day. 54% develop cancer and other disease like due to the taking of the immunosuppressors, and 25 will develop and need a retransplantation in 5 years. So we come up with a solution that is basically bioengineered new personalized human organs, as you are seeing here, liver, where the technology starts by taking the organs from human cadavers, and then we apply a solution that basically remove all the cells from these tissues, and what is liver is a scaffold without cells. This means that after that we can use the cells from the donor, from the patient that needs the organ, and apply a process where we recellularize this organ with new cells, personalize this organ into the new patient. So as you see here, we are already in preclinical validation with our future customers, an hospital in Portugal, where we're starting a human liver transformation into a personalized one. So of course our technology can be applied for another organs like the heart and lung, and the patient journey that we want to reach It's basically in the difference with the conventional one. We can reduce the risks and increase the efficiency by creating an organ bank with our customers, our hospitals, and increase a solution that is rapid, fast, and guarantees the long-term survival of these patients. So the opportunity starts by our biobank of the waiting transplant list from these patients, and of course our commercial viable manufacturing that is low cost, fast and efficient, and also it's that is hospital centralized manufacturing process into a market from 120 billions with a focus of 2.4 billion in the liver transplantation. So the competitor analysis, we have our main competitors that is Matrix, but instead of Matrix use human livers, they use pig organs instead of human matrix. So our market analysis, our customer is B2B, where we basically rent our machine that makes this process happen, and the solutions that the hospital buy to us in a price of 280 key, that is actually 40% of the cost of the conventional treatments. So at this moment we are looking for a 5 million of pre-seed of 10% of equity with a revenue of the first year of 26 units selling in Portugal, and to reach to Iberican scale with Portugal and Spain with earnings of the revenue of almost 100 billions. And of course we are at this moment in demonstrating results in order to go to the further from human clinical trials that the InnoStars Award will be very important for us at this stage. And the team behind this, it's basically in the background of the medicine, stem cells, tissue bioengineering, and ethics that is very important. So thank you so much, and look forward for you to answer your questions. And if you want to know more, just scan our QR code. Thank you so much.
Thanks for the pitch. It was really, really amazing. How easy will it be to copy your solution for the future?
Yeah, so our solution, it's a block in the trade secret. We want to patent in the end when we assign the pre-market agreement with the hospital and our customers that we are already validating with one future customer that is hospital in Portugal. At this moment, we are in blockchain and trade secret, like all the process that makes the organ. And in the end, we just want to patent the solution and the applicants of our technology in this case that can be brought for on other ones, like for example, food industry and pharmaceutical as well.
I have a question, sir. How much should be the risk to damage the organs when you do this approach?
Yeah,
this is one of the clinical problems, because you take the organ, then you do something, and then you may have damages.
Yeah, exactly. This is one of our key main technology advantages, because our process of removing the cells, our tests show that chemical and physical tests, that the native organ from the human cadaver that is healthy, it's actually the same one as the last one. We recellularize and make all the process happen. But a plus on that, during this process, we create an immunotherapeutic environment that is actually pro-regenerative one, because this tissue decellularize, it's a starting over again. So they create an environment that is pro-regenerative. So it's even better from the native one in this case, with immunological advantage, of course.
Some words to this. Also, because it's important to get into account that what's maintained is the scaffold. It's not a full organ. And we can talk about cellular damage, and this is an element that we are removing from the fact that we are only keeping the scaffold. So it's an element that it's important to take into account when comparing to the regular transplantation methods as we have, and regular bioengineering beyond what we offer with our technology.
Have you considered what could be the associated risks when it comes, for instance, to the black market of organs?
Yeah, I can start, and then you'll shed some words. So one of our key elements, it's not only to look at the technology, which we are already in a very advanced stage, but also at the regulatory elements and the economical elements. So we know that in Europe is a safe space for us to begin with the implementation of this technology, first, even when we look at Portugal only. So the secondary market for this to happen, and for transplantation to happen in Portugal, it's actually very much dependent on national healthcare services and what we deliver. We have a similar model as the one in Britain, a very focused beverage model compared to the German Bismarck model. And the financing comes only from institutions that are public. And it's important to take this into account. There's no secondary market. So this is something that we will assess when scaling up. but I would say that it's not a focus and a problem when we look at our market where we want to scale for the first 4 to 5 years. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Next on stage, Dr. Zed, represented by Dr. Zaki Milham from Romania, Digital Health. Welcome to the stage.
Buongiorno. My name is Zaki, and I represent Mood Z. We're on a mission to change the way in which we understand and treat depression. We started off by interviewing over 30 large companies to learn that mood is contagious. This means that one individual waking up on the wrong side of bed will affect the quality of performance and productivity of the entire team. Now, if this happens repeatedly, that person is probably going through a 28-month struggle, which is the depression patient journey. It's the 4th cause of disability worldwide, and it's on the rise. It currently costs $1 trillion per year, factoring in indirect costs, and Europe is going very bad at this. We started off bad, we went through a pandemic, now there are 2 wars right on the outskirts, and all this is turning mental health into one of the priority domains of intervention for European healthcare. What we're trying to do at Moodzy is use sensor fusion, artificial intelligence, and consumer wearables to try and give back up to 15 months of quality time to these people. How we started doing it, we took a deep dive into 50 years of experimental research to learn the subtle connection between REM sleep and depression. And then we spent 3 years of our own time in the sleep lab to develop a product, protect it scientifically, and clinically publish it. Validate it, sorry. So this is our system, a mobile app and a smartwatch app that understands the disease in real time, understands sleep in real time, and delivers a proprietary haptic sleep intervention that influences brain electrical activity as a viable non-drug treatment for depression. The market is actually huge. With depression on the rise, the wearables market right now has a compound annual growth rate of 12%. However, we're facing a huge valley of death because it costs us millions to deploy to the market a software medical device that treats depression. We, however, think we found a way to bridge this valley of death through a 2-step market approach. We conducted a clinical trial last year, and we proved that with a consumer-grade haptic intervention during sleep, we could provide statistically significant improvement on all 5 determinants of mood. And this was a solid enough business case to trademark and prepare to deploy something we call the world's first digital supplement, a consumer product that, for a subscription, offers increased mood, energy, focus, and restfulness. We compete with the likes of Calm and Headspace, and we best them through the fact that we require 0 user time commitment. MoodZ literally works in your sleep. We raised 400,000 euros in grants already. We're raising $1.5 million at a valuation of 15. We're conducting a large-scale clinical trial right now. We're deploying early next year to fund our medical device registration. We're creating 3 more use cases as we speak to converge into our vision to become the world's first digital pharma. We're building on the momentum we have. We're trusted by large corporates. We have prestigious research partnerships right now, and our waiting list actually ensures that we can earn 60,000 euros in monthly recurring revenue after we deploy. We are a complete and diverse team. We are driven and focused to take this product to market successfully, and we are asking for your vote of confidence to positively impact the lives of millions of people. Thank you.
I have a question regarding the concrete wearable. Do you intend to sell your own wearable, or do you intend to make it compatible with an Apple Watch or a Fitbit, for instance?
This is a perfect question, and thank you so much. So the 2-step market approach I spoke about, the digital supplement, we're making it for consumer wearables to lower the barrier to entry. So Apple Watch, Fitbit, you name it. We're starting with Apple because Apple users spend twice as much on monthly subscriptions than other users, so it's a good business opportunity there. But then when we're making a medical device, because of the variations of sensors and ways to process data between the types of wearables, we're considering making our own non-screen wearable with a long battery life, and that's something for 2025.
I have a couple of clinical questions. The first one is, how much is your idea most sensitive to the classical clinical approach? You know that there are many types of approach to do that. The second is that you know that depression is look like different from the unipolar depression, from the bipolar depression, and also in the bipolar there are many types. how sensitive is, how you may differentiate these different types, because the treatment is different. This means is a key point.
And thank you for your question. We're trying to make a differentiation between endogenous depression, which happens because of the biochemical unequilibriums in brain monoamines, and the reactive depression, which is something that is generated or triggered by a traumatic event. We're not going into bipolar depression at all. And regarding the treatment itself, one thing that we learned, and we actually went through all clinical trials that existed on depression and sleep, is that people with depression have up to 3 times more REM sleep than healthy people. And then when you apply antidepressant treatment of any kind, that is medication, you observe from the first day a 90% decrease in REM sleep. And experiments in the past that were abandoned demonstrated the efficiency of this type of therapy in treating depression without medication. So in the 70s and 80s and early 90s, what they did was they put people sleep in the sleep lab with a helmet on, you know, with a polysomnography. And every time they went into REM sleep, they would wake them up like manually. And that was proven time and again more efficient than the antidepressants of the age. And what we're trying to do with our intervention is do the waking up during REM sleep in real time, but with a watch that vibrates strong enough to take them out of REM sleep without waking them up. So we ensure passive adherence, and we also ensure the scalability of the treatment, because you're no longer dependent on actually going to a sleep lab. You can just sleep at home, being prescribed, of course, a digital therapeutic for depression. But yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
No.
I think
Unfortunately.
6 seconds.
Okay, if you give a 5-second answer.
Okay, how could you convince a corporate to have a business with you?
Well, we already did. We have like 16 large companies, including Orange and 2 banks in Romania.
What are the mere
And
arguments?
your 5 seconds.
Arguments,
are up. No
increased
need-
productivity and mood of employees.
No
as an
more
employee
time.
benefit.
I am so sorry, but time is up. Please feel free to continue all your discussions throughout coffee breaks or lunch break. There will be many other opportunities. Next on stage is Birger Mind, represented by Juris Klovons, CEO, Latvia Digital Tech. Welcome to the stage.
Thank you. Hello. I would like to devote this presentation to my dear friend Birger and his wife Jutta, who laid down the path for patients with motor neuron disease. And they show us how not to give up. So, have you ever imagined or wanted to express your thoughts loudly? Or maybe you had a situation when you wanted to send that important message, but due to some reason you couldn't move or speak. Well, for us it's a glimpse, but for patients with motor neuron disease, it's a life and a everyday life reality. Thus, we are building brain-computer interfaces, non-invasive, that enable paralyzed patients to communicate independently. My dear friend Birger had been living with ALS, motor neuron disease, for 27 years, fully paralyzed. And he gave us a mission to enable patients in need. So they actually, once they know the diagnosis, in 1 year they lose the ability to move and speak. And it's very important to give them this control to communicate. Therefore, we are building both a dedicated hardware and scalable software platform for everyday needs of ALS patients to communicate, to type, and use modern apps. So we developed artificial intelligence engines which interprets brainwaves into 5 distinct commands used for typing, navigating, and browsing. And it is especially developed for the patients whose head is resting on the pillow or the wheelchair. And it helps to train the brain, which is a positive effect as well. So comparing to the eye trackers, you can type faster because of no delays in gazing. Also, comparing to BCI implants, you don't need a medical intervention. And it is used as a brain joystick, which is also affordable as well. Normal joysticks can't help patients who are already in locked-in state. So we start with Denmark, Italy, and Latvia, and we engage now with other markets in France, Germany, and Spain, and Portugal. And eventually, in 10 years from now, we would like to help not only ALS patients, but also others suffering from cerebral palsy, stroke, spinal cord injury, those with mobility and speaking issues, myasthenia gravis, for example, among others. So, first time in the history and can be used with closed eyes. And we collected our data set since 2011, specifically for ALS patients. Once you try it, you never want to switch. We work through ALS associations in sustainable way with zero waste management. So it's a rental model. So here we are, a dedicated team with multidisciplinary experts in our team. So we want to ask you for support to give ALS patients extra autonomy. We will deliver non-invasive, easy-to-use BCI to all ALS patients in need. Thank you.
Time for questions.
Okay, I start. You cited that there are competitors. I think there are many competitors. How much of these products are in the market?
So we actually deployed it approximately 30 patients with subscription for free for now, because we need to have a feedback. We were amazed how little it is possible for them to use those assistive devices who are already on the market independently, because still 80% of the time assistants who are working with ALS patients, for example, they spend time on communication, even though they have some ability with other assistive devices. In our case, we don't need assistants to be involved.
No, but my question was different. How many competitors there are in the market?
Okay,
because there are so many of these products are related to these neuro pathologies. This means is an important information, because there are one competitor or 1,000 competitors.
Okay.
So your future is much more complicated.
Yes, there are approximately 10 competitors in BCIs, but 9 of them are actually research oriented. So it's not yet available for ready use to ALS patients, for example. And there is one competitor who already deployed this, but it's invasive. It still requires medical operation. And even though they have a clearance, the reality is there are only limited patients who agreed to do this operation. And in our case, we don't ask that. And we have built actually 2 patents now which secure us the freedom to operate, and also designed our own sensors, active sensors. Thank you.
So what is the secret sauce of your team who can do that? So why are you the winning team?
Exactly. So since 2011, we built up a team which was in that time as oriented as a research with neurologist, biomedical engineer, me as a software architect, and also with biomedical engineering experience in patient at home project in Denmark, because we had been dealing with real patients at that time. It was 2012. Yes, and then actually from 2021, it started to be a really sustainable business opportunity, because the computer hardware was not ready enough to process such big amount of data. And we built our miniature hardware, which in some fieras we already showed. But yeah, we are on a mission now, because people need it urgently, and they can't find any other solution. So they're reaching us through ALS.care platform, which we collect the data, and we try to help as much as possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Next on stage, Miva, represented by Elio Salvadori, CEO from Italy, Digital Tech. Welcome to the stage.
Hello, I'm here to present how Miva plans to improve the quality of life of teens with neurodevelopmental disorder. 3 years ago, my son was diagnosed autistic, a disorder which is common in 1 in 200 European citizens. Due to their difficulty in entering relationship, these teens are prone to suffer social isolation, a condition that may undermine their autonomy when adults. If diagnosed at a young age, usually specialized centers propose in-presence psychoeducational therapies aimed at strengthening their social and emotional skills. However, the access to these services is difficult for many due to the low density of centers, the lack of professionals, which combined with an increasing rate of diagnosed kids makes the current delivery model of the centers not scalable. At MIVA, we are convinced that using virtual reality as an online therapeutic tool can solve this problem. To this aim, we have developed a digital solution for teletherapy composed by a multiplayer serious game, biometric software analytics that can detect the stress level of the players from remote, and a dashboard for the therapist. Typical journey is divided in 3 phases. A therapist scheduling a session for a number of teens that at established timing will join an immersive adventure where they act as a team of space explorers, tackling challenges that strengthen their cooperative skills and their executive functions. The assessment at the end is super easy for therapists thanks to our dashboard. We have already validated our solution in a number of international trials with a significant number of teens with very important clinical results. We currently, the market of autism treatment is about to be around 13 billion euro by 2031 in Europe. Half of them are for psychological therapies. However, we believe that the increasing adoption of virtual reality as a therapeutic tool makes us estimate some around 69 million euro. We are currently targeting around 1,200 centers in Italy, but the numbers in Europe are 10 times bigger. Compared to existing virtual reality therapy solutions, MIVA provides a more engaging setting for the target age, and it is teletherapy ready. We plan to establish agreements with centers by proposing a pricing strategy that combine a one-off price to acquire the hardware and a subscription fee per player. MIVA is on a social mission to improve the quality of life of teens and their caregivers, but we aim also to have an economic impact on centers by decreasing their OPEX and extending their geographical reach. Our team combines mixed skills, R&D, business, and clinical, but we also count on few collaborators. 2 of them are young autistic adults. But we also count on the strategic advisory of entrepreneur David Tacconi and scientific advisory of Professor Venuti. We are on a journey to get certified as medical device within next year, and then we plan to extend our clinical approach to new clinical domains and target European countries where a framework for digital therapy is mature. We are currently looking for an investment of 250,000 euro, mostly for product development, but also to strengthen our sales and marketing strategy. Yeah, just one thing. We believe this team deserves a better future. We hope you will support to make this dream true. Thank you.
I have a short clinical questions. At what age you may start this type of approach for these patients? Because this is
yes.
When you start very early, it probably is much more difficult.
Yes. We usually start from 10. There has been recently, for example, we are using one of the most commercial products, which is Oculus Meta. There have been recently policy change that led also parents to have control on the usage of this headset. However, we have been also testing the solution also with kids older than 8. Usually 8 is the minimum threshold to let kids play with virtual reality.
Can you go over how the clinicians are able to understand the stress level of the children through this game?
Yes, we are at the moment using a nerve rate monitor, and we have implemented a machine learning algorithms that can detect the stress level through heart rate variability. This is actually a measure we are still actually exploring, because you need to correctly detect the, let me say, the arousal because of maybe some of the scene they are going through during the game versus the risk that the kid may have a meltdown. This is something we are still exploring, but we believe this is the correct direction to take.
Yeah, I really would like to build on that. Do you really have to have somebody, who is just controlling or, assessing the reaction of the kids, because it might happen that it will be even dangerous for them to do something, I don't know.
Well, yes, this is okay. There are already tools within virtual reality that lets you, let me say, get the cameras on if you go beyond a certain beyond a certain space threshold. So this is usually, and we provide guidelines to make the setting safe if used at home in terms of chairs to be used, space and obstacles that can be around, and this should be somehow we believe enough to let the kid have a safe session.
But not only physically, but also mentally. Can it cause any kind of, I don't know, risk or issues when they use it?
Well, so this is something that I've been studying since the last 20 years, using virtual reality with this specific target. In general, the rate of acceptance is very high, even with autistic kids with a high need of support, with little cognitive capability. To the best of our knowledge, we didn't find any evidence of mental troubles, but I can provide you more reference.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on stage, M. Plastrom, represented by Aurimas Mazuras, CEO from Lithuania, MedTech. The stage is yours.
Hello, everyone. My name is Aurimas, and I am the CEO and co-founder of the Plastrom. And we are on the mission to empower every person with a chronic skin condition to live comfortably. Chronic skin conditions burden a massive population. In Europe, there are more than 50 million people who suffer from chronic skin conditions like eczema, psoriasis, or vitiligo. So how those patients are treated today? The common practice is that when the patients are diagnosed, for example, with psoriasis, dermatologists prescribe topical treatment. But unfortunately, 57% of psoriasis patients today are unsatisfied or failing with that treatment. Then, dermatologists should prescribe UV phototherapy. But it's usually bypassed. Why? Because patients rarely commit to come to the hospital every second day and repeat it for 2 months. Alternatively, they take biologics. That is costly and have painful side effects. To overcome those problems, we developed a wearable solution that is a wearable medical device that is connected with the app and dermatology specialists who could track and prescribe the appropriate dose of the treatment. We went through all necessary safety, quality, biocompatibility tests. We have patent pending status and just now finishing our clinical trials. Our business model is based on the product leasing to patients directly through our platform or through other teledermatology companies. And as we are pre-revenue startup, we have signed 2 memorandums with companies to start operating in Estonia, Germany, Switzerland, Austria, and Norway. We're also not alone in the market. There's some competitors that are trying to solve this terrible problem. Closest one is Zerigo. They have developed a lamp. Patients can use it at home, but they need to hold it over each damaged skin place for 10 or 20 minutes a day. Global skin condition market is valued at more than $100 billion US, and our first market will be Germany. That's valued nearly 7 billion euros, and we will target 50% of all the psoriasis patients in Germany. That is about 1.4 million people. And by negotiating the price with the teledermatology companies, we could end up at nearly 300 million euros in revenue. To realize this idea, we have a well-experienced team that worked previously more than 15 years in developing and launching medical device in the European market and have experience with the clinical trials and CE certification. But we also need your help. 3 years ago, we started our idea with the EIT Jumpstarter program. Then we got this Innovation Call grant, and now with the EIT Health InnoStars Awards, we would be able to prepare for the EAC Accelerator, develop our AI tool, and conduct clinical trials to prove the way higher treatment results in combination with the pharma. Thank you.
So at the beginning of your presentation, you started to say that usually the patients are not so diligent with using the topical treatments, for instance. Why do you think that they would actually take the time to use the wearable and make the sessions as they should?
Yeah, so it's a good question. So they want to use the topical treatment, but unfortunately it doesn't help for them. So it doesn't provide the efficacy of the treatment, so then they should take alternatives. So they have two alternatives. UV phototherapy, they can go to the hospital every second day, so they don't want to go there. They want to have treatment at home. Then they take biologics. You can just swallow a pill and that's all, but you are damaging all the body inside.
I have a couple of questions. The first one is that how safe is your instrumentation, because managing at home something could be not so standardized. The second one, that sometimes psoriasis is located in many different parts of the body, and then you need many different wearables to manage. And in some places, not easy to place it. It's not practical, probably.
Exactly, super good question. Psoriasis have three stages: mild psoriasis, severe psoriasis, and moderate psoriasis. So we are not applying to the severe psoriasis that is almost all the body is covered by the psoriasis. We're aiming to the mild and moderate psoriasis, where is 5, 6 affected skin places on different places. So then it's easier for patients. And yes, by conducting our clinical trials, we wanted to prove not the efficacy of the treatment, because UV is already people have that treatment nowadays, but we wanted to prove that it's safe to use at home. Patients cannot overdose. Like with other devices you can buy, use it at home, and then patients have the melanoma, skin cancer. It's way worse than psoriasis. So we strongly control the dosage of each treatment, and dermatologists personalize it to each one by their guidelines.
What is the biggest concern what you have when it comes to your team at the moment?
So currently we are in the path of the certification and regulations. So this is super tough way in the medical industry. So now we're trying to figure out how we can move faster. Because in Europe, 5 years or 4 years ago, they changed regulations from MDD to MDR, and now we need those people who are specializing in the MDR certification rules. So maybe that is one of our current concerns.
And how can you eliminate this risk?
So we're looking for the people, and we found one in Germany, actually not in Lithuania, who is already certified similar devices in the medical field.
And your time is
with UV phototherapy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on stage, Iplex Med, represented by Bruno Almeida from Portugal, MedTech. Welcome to the stage.
So currently, 14% of the world population is at risk of contracting a chronic respiratory disease, with half of them dying prematurely with a bacterial infection. And unfortunately, I know this the hard way, as my father was one of those patients. So this episode led me to think, why are still people dying nowadays with a bacterial infection? And the truth is, it takes too much time to know the exact bacteria that is infecting and to know if it is resistant or not to conventional antimicrobial drug therapies. And why? Because there are no first-line molecular diagnostic tools available. The ones that exist are just lab solutions, so they require trained users to operate those complex and bulk machines, meaning that they are not present where they can make the most for those patients, which is at the emergency rooms, at the clinician's office, and in the future for at-home monitoring of those infections. So those are exactly the gaps that we are fulfilling at Iplex Med by developing the electronic rapid diagnostic test, which is a platform that has 3 main characteristics. It is portable, it gives us fast lab-grade results, and it has multiplexing capacity, meaning the ability to assess in a single measurement a panel of bacteria and also, if it is present, resistant genes. It is composed by these 2 parts, a small electronic device and disposable cartridges. And since it is so easy to use, It can be present at the clinician's office and at home. So with this, what we are doing is completely changing the patient journey from the actual 2 to 7 days to just 20 minutes, with an obvious reduction in the mortality and morbidity of those diseases. But we are also saving costs for the healthcare providers, particularly on a 40% reduction of the costs on unnecessary hospitalizations. Our business model follows a razor and blade approach, selling mainly the disposable cartridges to healthcare providers. And we plan to enter in 2026 a global market of 12 billion euros, starting in Portugal due to easiness of market penetration, but then to rapidly expand to other geographies. In terms of competition, none of our competitors are able to deliver a product that can simultaneously be useful at the point of care and at home, dealing with bacterial infections and multi-resistance, and having this high multiplex capacity that I told you before. All of this in a very timely way. Until now, we already attracted €500,000, and we are now seeking investment of 1.5 million seed round, which is half of the global amount that we need to reach the market in 2026. Finally, and most importantly, our team, it is composed of 4 co-founders working together for more than 5 years now, and with very complementary backgrounds, spanning from health sciences to nanofabrication and engineering. But above all, we all have the drive and motivation to scale this company. So join us in our mission to change these patient lives. Thank you.
My first question is, what is the capacity of your product to adapt to novel respiratory infections?
Thanks for the question. So the innovation is on the disposable cartridge itself, so meaning we are using sensors. Depending on the probes that we are functionalizing the sensors, we can adapt to other infectious agents. So it will be fairly easy because it's not a complete new product. We are using the same device. Actually, I have here a mock-up, so the device is the same. What we are changing is the cartridges that we can use, so we can adapt, for instance, let's say for sexually transmitted diseases or to distinguish between a virus and a bacteria. Currently, we are focusing on bacteria because we are deeply focused on changing these chronic respiratory disease patients that suffer a lot of bacterial infections.
I have some questions. First, how many biomarkers you may charge in your device? The second, that is really a big problem to do this at home, is that there is a lot of discussion that related that to the false negative. I mean, you do some pattern and then there is the patient is assured that there is negative, but he may have a very important virus or very important bacteria that may develop in a fast way, and then he may die with the false negative information. This is one of the discussion this type of devices for. Yeah.
So our current multiplex capacity, we are reaching 30 different bugs / resistant genes. So let's say like 18 different type of bacteria, which will cover like 99% of the common bacteria that those patients have. And concerning your second question, first thing, we are designing the cartridge to be used really easy, so it will be easy to use at home. And the second thing is we are conjugating here software to assess the history of infection. So let's say those kind of patients have a flora in their lungs that we can detect the presence, but what is changing is the way that this flora is changing across time. And since we can trace this historically, and put it in contact with the medical doctor, he can directly prescribe the right treatment for that specific bacteria that is appearing new in this flora of the lungs. So that's the game changing here.
I mean, that's exactly what I wanted to ask, so I really have to just reshape my question. What keeps you awake nowadays? What keeps you awake nowadays when it comes to the business opportunity, the concerns, what you have about the product?
The main concern now it's funding, of course, because we need to scale really fast, because we know that this is a thing to go to the home of the patients, because it will completely change the way that these patients are being treated nowadays. So for that we need funding, partially to do cartridge development, to
and
simply...
your time is up.
Of course, we can talk in the coffee break.
That's it, that's the spirit, yes, thank you. Next on stage, IQ BioZoom, represented by Jakub Kazmarski, CTO from Poland, MedTech. The stage is yours.
Thank you very much. So I'm here to invite you to join our open investment round that will enable us to enhance people's well-being by delivering pain-free home diagnostic tools. Have you ever wondered what diabetics, people with hormonal disorders or sportsmen have in common? The answer is the need of regular monitoring of relevant biomarkers in the body. Very often they suffer from finger pricking, long waiting times to see doctors, or lack of personalized treatment. The answer for that lies in the self-test market, the market which is worth almost $9 billion US, which we would like to take a stake by delivering a biosensing technology for non-invasive, real-time home diagnostic test to monitor relevant biomarkers from saliva at home. The core of our device relies on a novel semiconductor devices by our own construction, which are already patented in the European Union, US, and China, that will allow us to determine those biomarkers in one order of magnitude higher accuracy than conventional invasive state-of-the-art devices. We started from glucose monitoring because we have almost 50 million of diabetics in European Union, while almost every one of them would like to avoid finger pricking. Besides those social challenges, we have also economical one because every $9th spending in the healthcare globally is spent on the fighting diabetes-related issues. Our device works like this. We have mobile pen-like device with disposable strip to be leaked. Then after measurement, the signal is transferred to mobile app. It could be retrospectively analyzed by the doctor or by the patient. Currently, we are at the TRL5, so we have a demonstration from the lab that allows us to monitor glucose appearing in saliva, sweat, and tears. The business model looks like this. We have one mobile device, different set of strips dedicated for diabetics, for sports, for hormones, for lactate measurement, and so on. We already established several partnerships. On the one hand, medical one with 3 hospitals in Poland and the biggest hospital in the UK, so Addenbrooke's Hospital, and worldwide recognized technical universities that help us with our technology. It is all possible owing to a team of 3 co-founders with Dorota, experience manager in charge, Kasia, biomedical engineer and our translator from the language of medical doctors to engineers, and me, semiconductor guy and inventor of this technology. We also have a team of engineers working in the lab right now and people responsible for certification, international affairs, as well as strategy. Currently, we raised over 500K, and right now we have an open round of 1.5 million that will allow us to shape the medical experiment and prove the usefulness of our solutions. Thank you very much.
Jakub, could you tell us who is your ideal customer? You mentioned a couple of stakeholders.
Mm-hmm. So our ideal customer is a medtech manufacturer with already established a network of distribution and clients, so B2B partner that is present on a market already or would like to extend its portfolio by other solutions.
And what do you think, why this problem has not been solved before? Because it seems a quite obvious solution that you are presenting, which is good. But is it easy to copy?
Because of the technology, actually. Right now, we have a possibility to fabricate semiconductor devices at room temperature without any, dedicated professional microelectronic facility, which radically decreased the cost of fabrication because of the science behind the new materials. So this is why, currently, the people are able to fabricate these kind of solutions without, semiconductor factories.
I have a couple of questions that are more technical. For sure, you utilize the saliva, but there are many problems because for sure you know that usually for detecting some markers in the normal way, we utilize different samples. And the results from saliva to blood is different. There is no comparability, there is no harmonization, and then it's really very difficult to manage, and particularly in saliva, some markers are not feasible. This is in which way you want to solve this technical, a professional problem, because it's not solved in the practice up to date.
Yes, first of all, the saliva for some biomarkers, like cortisol, for example, is a analyte of choice for measurements. And in context of glucose, there are several research that show that there is a positive correlation between the concentration of glucose in saliva and in blood, delayed in time, with 15 or 20 minutes. We also have an idea how to get rid of the interference appearing in saliva. It also relies on technology. Yeah, I will need like 2 minutes to explain how we do that, but we can extract we can extract the exact amount of glucose from saliva by our solution, which is, as I said, already patented.
Okay, so if you get the next round of investment, how do you plan to spend it? What will be the main focus of development?
In 15 seconds.
First of all, shaping the medical experiment and clinical trials. So we need to go to medically prove the device to attract new partners from the business. We are already after several talks with medtech companies. They show us, okay, looks good, but show us the proof.
And your time is up. Thanks you very much. Next on stage, D-Site, Carla Mate Goldar, CEO, Spain Therapeutics. The stage is yours.
Good morning, everyone. I guess that everybody in the room knows what diabetes is and how it affects million people worldwide with an aging population. What you probably don't know is that nearly all diabetic type 1 patients and almost 60% of diabetic type 2 ones will develop different levels of visual impairment or even blindness within time. And this is due to a disease called diabetic retinopathy. Hi, my name is Carla Mate Goldar, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of D-Site, a spin-off company that is ready to improve the quality of life of more than 93 million diabetic patients in the world. Do you want to know how? Diabetic retinopathy is the most common complication of diabetes and actually the leading cause of preventable blindness worldwide. Unfortunately, there's no specific treatments for this disease on its early stages. As a patient, when you get diagnosed, your only option is to wait until your symptoms are severe enough to apply for current therapies in the market. We are talking about lazy photocoagulation or intravitreal injections, so aggressive treatments that also have severe adverse effects associated for patients. D-Site is offering these patients the first-in-class eye drop solution for the treatment of early stages of diabetic retinopathy. We've already proven in a preclinical environment that the topical administration of DPP-4 inhibitors in the ocular surface not only prevents neurodegeneration, but also microvascular alterations associated to this disease on its early stages. Our results are protected by a family patent present in 22 countries worldwide, and very important to highlight, our drug doesn't have a systemic distribution in the body, which means no associated adverse effects like other therapies in the market. The market for this solution is huge. We are almost reaching the $11 billion by 2030, with a growth rate of almost 14% in that period. Only sales of therapeutics in the market, like ours, would reach the almost $9 billion by that time. Our strategic market position lies in the fact that most of the companies are focused in later stages of the disease, even already diabetic macular edema, and also still developing invasive routes of administration, not like in our case. D-Site has already finalized the preclinical regulatory package for our solution, and we are already starting our clinical phases validation. We are also planning to incorporate other indications to our pipeline, such as, for example, glaucoma. We've already closed a first round of capital increase of €1 million, and we're already preparing our Series A funding to ensure the technical and financial viability of our company in the coming years. And last but not least, our team. As I mentioned, I'm the CEO of the company, incorporating all my knowledge in innovation and business transfer. And I have the tremendous pleasure to share this journey with Dr. Rafael Simón and Dr. Cristina Hernández, key opinion leaders in the field coming from a research group of excellence and the first clinical department in this category in the state. We have, of course, Hospital Vall d'Hebron as part of our company, and also Clave Capital, the venture capital firm who already invested €1 million in our company, and EIT Health, who is supporting our program through our project through this program. D-Site is already shaping the future of neurodegenerative diseases. We want to change the way you age, and we welcome you on board for this mission. Thank you, everyone, for your attention today.
Can you tell us about some of the risks associated with the development of your product?
Well, of course, now we are facing the clinical phase, which is very critical, talking about therapeutics. We're very confident about it because my two co-founders, they have already led 3 clinical phases 1 in a European level, using this kind of eye drop solution for neurodegenerative diseases. So we are learning, right, from these past mistakes and also for the lessons learned that these clinical phases led to us. And we are working very consistently on this to define a proper road for the clinical development and regulatory development for our solution in the coming years.
My question. Which are the clinical evidence that this product could work or research evidence that this product may be the solution for this problem?
Well, this product comes from more than 14 years of basic research. We have several publications and leader scientific journals published that I can, of course, share with you afterwards if you want. So we have a strong scientific knowledge in the field, and we've already proven the clinical evidence, not only of this solution working actually on GLP-1, increasing its ocular content and therefore preventing this neurodegeneration and microvascular content that we are also mentioning, but also our research group is already working in exploring furthermore the concrete mechanism of action of sitagliptin, which is actually the DPP-4 inhibitor that we are using in this solution, and all the pathways and metabolic pathways that are falling down in this case and that are producing this therapeutic effect in the eye of these patients.
The following question is that why after 14 years of study is not still utilized, because so long time there is a doubt that is not probably the best one.
Well, I would say that on the contrary, we really wanted to work on the valorization and technology transfer of this project before deciding the proper moment of consolidating this company. And until we were not sure that we had the stronger preclinical proof of concept and the preclinical studies that we needed to make sure that we were the most competent therapeutic solution for these patients in the market. I was actually before part of the innovation team in the Weidebron Research Institute. So I was also exploring and analyzing the valorization strategy. And I also made sure to decide what was the right moment to create that company. And also not only that, but also incorporated myself full-time into it. So I can tell you from my technical and expert point of view that this is the right moment for this site and that we are ready to make it happen.
Is there anything what you would do differently if you had the opportunity to start again?
I would say, I guess that there's always other ways to do things. In our case, I think that we were very conscious about when was the right moment to create the company. We were also incorporating the basic or strongest knowledge that you need in that early stage, which is my tech transfer and innovation management knowledge, but also all the scientific and technical experts that we are cooperating with my research founders. So I would say that no, from a technical point of view, we really did things well, and I think that we're proving it. We just incorporated the company in January of this year, and we already finalized the preclinical regulatory studies, and we're already ready to start our first clinical trial by the end of next year. So far, for sure, there will be little things that you can always adapt, but from my technical point of view, I would say that we're doing things right.
Thank you very much. Thank you. This concludes the pitches for this competition, so huge round of applause, please, for all the pitches. And an equally large applause for our jury members and for their questions, please. The winners will be revealed tonight at the InnoStars Grand Final Awards ceremony at 6:15. Remember, you can also vote. You can vote until 6 on one startup, very important, through your app or through the website. The live stream will end shortly. We welcome you back at 2:30 for the Attract to Invest final pitch competition. Of course, everybody here physically is also welcome, but for you, there is also the opportunity of the corporate's pitch that will start 10 minutes after noon, and of course, the lunch break, which is the next building, first floor. Thank you very much for being here with us, and be sure to stay with us for what is to follow, because it will be great. Thank you.